Welcome to the Lies They Tell podcast, a place where truth was buried and silence was enforced. They changed names, rewrote history, stole land, erased a legacy, and forced you to forget who you are. But the awakening has begun. They hid the truth. They changed your identity. Now you're waking up. The veils have been lifted. Welcome to the Lies They Tell podcast. My name is Spirit, and I'll be your host for today. My co-host Truth will be joining us later in the segment. Welcome. Today on the Lies They Tell podcast, episode 6, I'll be revealing what is now called the state of Texas, once was and still is the true biblical cities of Jerusalem, Israel, Bethany, the Mount of Olives, as well as Golgotha. The official transfer of the names Jerusalem, Israel, and Bethany overseas was executed systematically following the 1832 through 1924 invasion of the Americas, specifically solidifying into global maps between the mid-18 and 1900s. Proponents of this history argue that European monarchs and cartographers used military dominance to physically strip these sacred names from the American Shinar territory and rewrite them onto the Middle East to permanently deceive the crassed, copper-colored populations. To permanently seal the deception, the overseas geography had to be taught universally through schools, books, and religious institutions. To solidify the newly created maps, European American settlers explicitly established dozens of towns named Cairo, Alexandria, Memphis, and Thebes directly along the Mississippi, Ohio, and southern river basins. During this period, the critical spiritual titles Jerusalem, Israel, Bethany, and the sacred land of Shinar were aggressively mapped onto and consolidated within the modern Middle East. When Spanish, French, and English explorers entered the Americas throughout the 18th century, they immediately began replacing the original, highly spiritual Shemitic names with colonial titles, Eurocentric landmarks, and Catholic saints to obscure the true inheritance of the land. Welcome, Truth.
Thank you, Spirit. To continue sharing the information I've researched on what is now called the state of Texas, the removal of the spiritual lands, here's a more detailed breakdown of the original biblical sites and their locations. 1. Jerusalem landscape. The Shinar Core Mounds, Cherokee County. This county encompasses the Caddo Mounds State Historic Site. 2. Bethany landscape, the Healing Artesian Springs line, as well as the Mount of Olives, Travis County. The elevated limestone sanctuaries stretch through the western edge of Travis County, where Mount Bonnell sits and run deep into the surrounding high hills of the Texas Hill Country Territory. Home to the physical location of Barton Springs in Austin, Texas, including Hays County home to physical location. And lastly, Golgotha landscape, the Independent Rock Altars. This northern Plains county contains the Comanche Medicine Mounds, 4 isolated natural dolomite hills that rise independent of the flat landscape. Isaiah 43:14. He who created you, Jacob, he who formed you, Israel. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. Since you are precious and honored in my sight, and because I love you, I will give people in exchange for you, nations in exchange for your life.